We are 470 kilometres from Wiluna, for us the starting point of our canning stock route expedition. For over an hour now it's been endless spinifex grasslands, and we need to find a clearing on which to set up camp, preferably close to the track. When we find one, it's on top of a low dune.
I reckon this is going to be perfect.
Okay, are you sure? I'm not sure it's deep enough. No, listen, that's the whole point. Look, it's going to drop down onto the bottom axle.
Paul has dug a hole for Justin, so Justin can level his vehicle and therefore level his tent.
Oh, that's perfect.
It is perfect.
Yeah. I'm not sure you get out tomorrow, but anyway, that's not my problem. Someone's got to dig a hole here. And it's not even for my vehicle or my tent getting it level.
Oh, come on, just, you get fed, don't you?
Okay.
Get on with it.
Do I get a beer at the end of this? Damn, I hope so.
Only one.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Are we level?
Luckily for you, yes. Otherwise, no beer.
Cheeky bugger.
No, you're 1 degree off. Sorry, no beer. I'll have it, don't worry, it won't go to waste.
Sure, funny.
I always like to show off on how quickly I can rig up our tent. And it takes precisely this long. The weight on the roof is stopping it going up by itself. Normally it does. Really, I'm not making excuses. There you go.
Go back up again if you want.
There you go, it's done.
As opposed to?
Or as opposed to, let's watch. You have an audience of millions.
Do it slickly.
Richard's blood is flicked on.
This is a waste of film. Turn the camera off.
We need to see how long it's going to take.
You know how long it's going to take.
Nearly done. Got to put the pegs in yet. Done.
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 Well,
Definitely done.
That was like lightning.
Still got to zip this up though, but done. But done.
You still at it then?
Nearly done.
This year I celebrate 35 years of overlanding, and I think to myself, what better way to celebrate that anniversary but by coming to one of the great overland expedition tracks in Australia. The canning stock is described as probably the most challenging in all of Australia in terms of endurance. It's very long, the longest. It's tough on vehicles and it's tough on people too. But by no means the most difficult in terms of technical four-wheel driving. I've only been on it now for 5 days and it is magnificent. It will stand out as one of the highlights of my career, I am sure. It is breathtakingly beautiful, diverse, absolutely fantastic. My fans spread all over the world, communicate with me constantly and love what I'm doing, and I really enjoy the responses I get on YouTube and Patreon. And every now and again somebody will send me a gift or send me something. And I've had all kinds of things sent to me, and I'm wearing one of them now. I made in 2016 a film about my first love, Range Rover Classic 1972 model, and I drove one just like it. And I spoke about the Darien Breakthrough, the t-shirt that I'm wearing, the Darien Breakthrough Trans-America's Expedition 1971-72. Thought to myself, you know, one day, just one day, I might do an expedition such as this, the Darien Breakthrough. And I spoke about how that expedition, seeing that, inspired me. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do expeditions like that. And this is a fan in, if I remember correctly, Finland. If I get that wrong, forgive me, you'll know who you are, but I know it was a Scandinavian country. And he just sent me a t-shirt. And I think it is fantastic. It's done in the same color of the vehicles. It's classy, and I don't normally wear t-shirts with things on. I wear this with pride and say thank you to you for sending me the t-shirt, and thank you to all of my fans and followers around the world. Keep watching. I've got lots more to look forward to.
Cheers, guys. To all our rallies at home, all our loved ones, we're thinking of you. But man, we're enjoying this. Wish you were here.
This is amazing, isn't it?
No. Man, we're enjoying this. I bet you wish you were here.
I bet you.
Well, good morning. The sun is just rising above the very flat plains as we camped last night in duneland, right on the top of a dune. Again, one of our best campsites. Which one so far is the best? Well, this is going to be very difficult to decide. Another magnificent one. It seems as if we are averaging one dune per day. Now, from Wiluna in the south, they number upwards 1 to 51 at Wiluna in the north. And we are now between wells 41 and 40. And 41, of course, where we got the water yesterday. So we're averaging one well a day. So that's about as much information I can give you this morning. No extra news. Vehicles both running superbly, no problems. The food isn't running out, seems to be working well. Water is fantastic. There will be water in 2 days' time, we know that. And another fantastic day in Outback, Australia.
We've discovered, during our morning vehicle checks, grass caught up in Justin's Land Cruiser's radiators. And it looks like a lot of it is not from this trip, but from their previous adventures.
What's going on here is absolutely typical. That is a very well maintained vehicle, but it's maintained by dealerships, and dealerships don't understand overland travel, so they didn't check the radiator for grass seeds and things like that. They get kicked up when driving along this kind of track, kicked up into the radiator. They won't check that kind of thing.
Time to clear it out and find some way of protecting the radiators.
The fact is that if you don't maintain it yourself, the chances are it's not going to be well maintained unless you have somebody that understands this kind of application for the vehicles and will service your vehicle properly. Good luck in finding one.
This morning's music track is from a Kenyan musician, Ayub Ogada.
Obiero Ayub. Obiero wanto wanne wa Ayub dalawai bye. Yetheno nengni gwen yaerem gito chwe. Yetheno nengni gwen babairo rem gito chwe. Obilo lui gage bunde toke down. Obilo lui gage bunde toke down, bye. On diega boro erolo nindara nenera bet. On diega boro erolo nindara nenera bet. No way, Baba boy, away, Baba boy, away, Baba way, away. Obiero Ayub. Obiero wanto wanne wa Ayub dalawai. Yetheno nengni gwen yaerem gito chwe. Yetheno nengni gwen babairo rem gito chwe. Obilo to lui gage bunde toke down. Obilo lui gage bunde.
We've entered a shallow valley of Tobin Lake, really just a salt pan at this point. And it looks like on the map we're leaving the Great Sandy Desert and entering the Gibson Desert. And the pan surface and everything is very similar in many ways to my beloved Makari pans in Botswana. Similar but not the same.
Can't help comparing areas that I travel in to previous places I've been. The obvious thing here is the Makari pans. The vegetation on the pan is quite different here. There's a lot more of it. The pan surface looks equally treacherous to drive across, obviously very soft. But I'm surrounded here with red hills, which is unique.
We're heading towards 1238. Canning stock route traffic, 2-vehicle convoy heading south to well 38 crossing dunes. So we do that every kind of 10 minutes or so because we reckon the radio range is probably 10 to 15 minutes, and so it's a really good idea to do it. Earlier this morning we had a long conversation with somebody who, like us, was worried about cresting the dunes. We nearly had a head-on collision. Was it yesterday or the day before? Some guy just driving so fast, not on the radio, not on the frequency, just driving blind stupidly, and missed us by probably less than a metre. And that would have been the end of our trip if it had happened. It's a remarkable coincidence that at every single day at around 12:30 we come across an open flat bit, almost parkland-like landscape, where we can stop and have a nice lunch. It's quite weird actually that it's just the timing seems to be perfect every single day. We're between 39 and 38, and today will be our last night before we reach the village. The village is not the center point, it's before the center point, but the village allows us to stock up on fuel and also on water, and we will be reaching there sometime tomorrow. Time for a Spiniflex update. My nickname that I've given myself is Colander, because the bottom of my legs have more holes in it than your average colander. Every time I walk around I forget about the Spiniflex, and the next thing I have spikes in the lower half of my legs. This is the Wadabuni rock hole near well 38. Canning's men used explosives in an effort to create a place for standing water, but the cattle never liked this place. Since then, it's been used by Aboriginal folk, the evidence of which are these spear sharpening marks. And this graffiti is from Canning's own crew. We are camped in a forest of desert oaks. The day has been mostly dune driving. Salt pans, more dunes, some salt pans, more dunes, and now this. Between two dunes, unlike all of the others, just hundreds of very, very old, some up to 500 years old, desert oak trees. Remarkable. The route is like that. Every now and again it's, oh, wow, look at that. A complete change of scene. Amazing. That's Paul showering. Everybody's been using the shower because it has warm water and a hassle factor of, well, 0 really. So tonight we're having a pre-cooked meal cooked by my daughter at home before I left home. Isn't that nice of her? She is a very, very good little cook and has made my life a lot easier by making some really nice pre-cooked meals. All I need to do now is find the wooden spoon. Well, good morning once again. This morning, camped in this beautiful little plateau between two dunes and our forest of desert oaks. We are not far from well 37, and that's just over the rise there, less than a kilometre away. And today, we're going to basically do what we did yesterday. More dune driving this morning. It's been great fun. The dunes seem to be getting a little bit tougher. The sand is a little bit soft, and the constant pounding on the suspension, because I get the impression that a lot of people that drive perhaps too hard or too high tire pressures, certainly damaging the track a lot. I'm finding it unbelievably easy to drive, but for the fact that it's very, very rough. But we just
We're just driving over every dune. We're not even, haven't taken 1 second attempt at a single dune yet. So, but looks like by the state of the road that a lot of people really struggle to get over these dunes. This is well 36. So we're now paying the price of not taking the rig out for a test run. We've got some rattles, and we've got one particular rattle that is absolutely ear splitting, and it is right next to my ear. So we're going to try and solve the problem, because it's driving me nuts, do you hear? Crazy. I believe it's got something to do with the mounting bracket and the rivets that have mounting the shower curtain, the ensuite, onto the side of the vehicle, and I believe that in a blind spot we've got a rivet moving through and actually rubbing on a piece of metal. That's what I believe, but it's so difficult to pinpoint.
Yeah, we've got it down to this area here, but it actually just resonates through a cavity. So it'll be something small, and that's what I said. If you actually fitting something, and you actually, like this bracket's been sickered and it's been riveted, and I think the only challenge we're talking about is this rivet's touching the inner existing roof and just rubbing on that inner existing roof and resonating through this cavity here and driving you mad. Earplugs?
No.
Music? Loud?
Yes.
Awesome.
But you know, the big mistake, of course, was not to take it on a trial trip, you know, iron out all the problems. But actually, this rattle only actually started on day 6. So if I'd gone for a weekend away, I don't think it would have appeared. Going to let the tyre pressures down a little bit more. We have been at 1.7 on the front. We're going to go down to 1.5. Tyres are warm but not hot. And down to 2.3 on the back. We found the dunes easy, really easy at those pressures, but we know that ahead of us are horrific corrugations. Everybody talks about how terrible they are, 50 to 60 kilometers of them. So I thought, let's go down to, let's really soften up the tires a lot. The day's drive has been spent mostly dune driving, quite high dunes, some of them quite challenging, and then between them wide, broad, open spinifex plains, and the track that runs along the plains are quite corrugated in places, but it's just one dune after the other. It's almost as if like a Russian dolls. You take out one and there's another one, and there's another one, and then there's another one. It's endless, day after day. And I guess we've been driving over this kind of terrain now for 5 full days, I would say. Almost unchanging, but with the occasional lake, dry salt pan, a ridge of red rocky hills to interrupt the landscape. It's enormous fun driving, and not super challenging, but definitely entertaining. So now we are at well 33, and we've started to actually bunk down with everybody else. This is not really the halfway point, although it is kind of called the halfway point. It's a little more than 1/3, so we've covered a little more than 1/3 of the Canning Stock route. And this is the watering. This is a place where you know all the time you will get beautiful, clean, well water. And unlimited water supplies means unlimited numbers of campers. Anyway, time to do laundry.
If you would like to be part of what I do and help me make more videos, support me on Patreon. Click the Patreon button on the screen now.